and welcome to We Women Want. This is our weekly show where we celebrate women achievers. We also reach out to those women who need help, who need support, and try and find solutions. In fact, over time, this has become a support-based group for all women. But today we have a very special guest. We are actually celebrating a woman achiever. And in fact, did you know that globally, the most subscribed mentalist is a woman? Globally, I'm saying all over the world, the most subscribed mentalist is a woman, and that too an Indian woman. And that Indian woman is here in the studio with us today. So I would like to welcome Suhani Shah with a round of clap and applause, because she is someone who's doing India proud, doing all of us proud, and so happy to have you here, Suhani.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, in fact, yeah, we were very pleasantly surprised, and I think you should play it up more because this is something to be proud of. So I'm happy today, through this show, we can actually play it up. But, I described you as a mentalist.
Yes.
But before that, I would like you to explain to our viewers कि a mentalist होता क्या है? A mentalist हम कहते हैं, we've all seen that show Mentalist, तो थोड़ा बहुत तो पता है. But what is a mentalist? और आप क्या जादूगर हैं? Because people say you're a magician. जब magic की बात होती है तो we think of men wearing caps and capes and not this छोटी सी लड़की जो यहाँ समय आई है जादू कर रही है. तो सारी mentalist का जरा समझाइए, what is a mentalist?
दो तीन चीजें आपने बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग बोली कि जब हम एक जादूगर के बारे में सोचते हैं तो हम एक आदमी के बारे में सोचते हैं विद अ टॉप हैट एंड अ केप.
मैंड्रिक, हम सब बच्चे थे तो मैंड्रिक द मैजिशियन था.
तो आई थिंक वो परसेप्शन ही बदलना है, और वो परसेप्शन बदलना बहुत जरूरी है कि आप एक मैजिशियन के बारे में सोचो तो जरूरी नहीं कि वो आदमी हो, वो एक महिला भी हो सकती है. एंड आई थिंक बाय दिस शो, एंड जब लोग मुझे देखते हो तो मैं उनको हमेशा बोलती हूँ कि अगली बार कोई आपको अगर जादूगर सोचने को बोले अपने मन में, तो ज़रूरी नहीं कि वो एक आदमी हो, वो एक महिला भी हो सकती है, वो याद रखिएगा. एंड कमिंग टू द पॉइंट ऑफ बीइंग अ मेंटलिस्ट, तो अगर उसको मैं बहुत ही सरल भाषा में समझाओ, इन द मोस्ट सिंपल लैंग्वेज, मैजिक एक आर्ट फॉर्म है और एक पेरेंट कैटेगरी है जिसके अंदर बहुत सारे सब जॉनर्स है. जैसे डांस एक कैटेगरी होता है, जर्नलिज्म एक कैटेगरी होता है जिसके अंदर सब जॉनर्स होते हैं. जैसे जर्नलिज्म में आपके हो गया ऑन ग्राउंड रिपोर्टिंग, स्टूडियो रिपोर्टिंग, कोई एंटरटेनमेंट सेक्टर कवर कर रहा है, कोई करंट अफेयर्स कर रहा है, ऐसे अलग अलग सेक्टर्स होते हैं. सिमिलरली मैजिक एक पेरेंट कैटेगरी है जहाँ पर बहुत सारे सब जॉनर्स हैं, जैसे कि मेंटलिज्म हो गया, इल्यूजन हो गया, स्ट्रीट मैजिक हो गया, एस्केपिज्म हो गया, पिक पॉकेटिंग हो गया, जगलिंग हो गया, पार्लर मैजिक हो गया, बहुत बहुत सारे वैसे. तो मैं एक जादूगरी हूँ, मैं एक मैजिशियन ही हूँ, और एक मैजिशियन में मेरा जो एक्सपर्टीज है वो एक मेंटलिस्ट का है, वो एक आर्ट फॉर्म ऑफ मेंटलिज्म का है. सो इट्स जस्ट अ स्टेप अहेड बेसिकली. एंड मेंटलिज्म एक ऐसा जॉनर, एक ऐसा आर्ट फॉर्म है जिसके अंदर हम मैजिक ही कर रहे हैं, लेकिन उसके अंदर कोई प्रॉप्स का इस्तेमाल नहीं होता, कोई डब्बा नहीं है, कोई रिबन नहीं है, कोई कार्ड्स नहीं है, कोई बॉल्स नहीं है. इट इज़ प्राइमरीली कॉन्वर्जेशनल मैजिक, जहाँ पर हम लिंग्विस्टिक डिसेप्शन यूज़ करेंगे, बॉडी लैंग्वेज अंडरस्टैंड करेंगे, माइक्रो एक्सप्रेशंस लेंगे, गिमिक्स भी होंगे, शोमैनशिप होगी बहुत सारी. सो इट्स अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ अ लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंट टेक्निक्स कमिंग टुगेदर टू फॉर्म मेंटलिज्म.
Okay. So Suhani, what I was from my takeaway from what is that you do a whole lot of things. Some people even say that you do mind reading, you read body language. Are you a mind reader, first of all? And
So-
also, some people say that you're an illusionist. So what exactly?
Differentiation.
Yeah.
Is what you're asking?
Yeah.
It's a subject, as I said, illusionist is different than a mentalist.
Nah,
They are two very different things.
and what are you?
I was an illusionist, and few years ago I turned a mentalist. I'll explain you the difference by giving another art form. It's like dance है, पर एक कुचिपुड़ी डांसर है, एक सालसा डांसर है.
Got it.
दोनों डांस ही कर रहे हैं, तो दोनों डांसर्स ही है, पर दोनों बोलोगे हाँ ये सब सालसा डांसर कुचिपुड़ी कर सकता है, थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है. कुचिपुड़ी डांसर सालसा कर सकता है, डिफिकल्ट, लेकिन सिखाओगे तो कर लेंगे, क्योंकि बेसिक्स सेम है. करेक्ट. सिमिलरली मैं एक मैजिशियन हूँ. इल्यूजनिस्ट का काम है टू डू अ बिग शो, 3 hour इल्यूजन्स, किसी को हवा में उड़ा के गायब कर दिया, किसी के 3 टुकड़े कर दिए, किसी को ऐसे जला के आई मीन उसको हम वापस जिंदा भी कहते हैं.
अच्छा.
तो यू नो थिंग्स लाइक दैट व्हेन यू आर क्रिएटिंग एन इल्यूजन ऑफ व्हाट यू आर सीइंग. It can be outdoor illusions also, like somebody like disappearing this great Statue of Liberty. It's an illusion, but an outdoor illusion, stage illusion. So they are like larger than life magic acts. So that's an illusionist. I started my career as an illusionist. We had 2 trucks of goods, 30 people to assist me. We used to go from one town to the other, perform every single day for a month.
Right.
Weekends, on Saturday, Sunday, we would perform 2 shows or 3 shows a day. More like a circus format, but in an auditorium. And yeah, I would just keep performing, those glittery clothes, abracadabra, very traditional Indian magic. And I kept
So,
performing that for, I don't know, more than a decade. And then gradually transitioned into modernizing it. And then few years ago realized that I always want to perform magic that I want to watch. And then I realized that I was also working in a lot in the space of psychology and human behavior a lot. And I somehow felt कि वो एक disconnect आ रहा है. I'm doing two different things. I'm doing magic at one place, which is illusions, and I'm all into psychology and writing books on human behavior. And at one point, I was like, I can't spread myself so much that I will not be able to focus on both so well. And then I decided to combine the both, and I got into mentalism. So I was doing mentalism as a part of my illusion show earlier, but then I became a full-fledged mentalist, where I'm doing only mentalism performances now.
okay, so if I can, you were first doing more entertainment. Now you're doing something that is healing. You're helping people. As you said, psychology also.
Yeah.
You have your own center, the clinic. You're a hypnotherapist. You have a clinical center, the Suhani Mind Care in Goa, which I think is also a lot of people have talked about that also.
Yeah.
So you actually help people get over. You're putting your art to a positive use now. You're helping people get over addictions.
So I did that for like, I think 8 to 9 years. But that was different. Now here's a confusion.
Okay.
And I completely get it. And I'm so glad you're asking me these questions, because this is what people really need to know. That because there is so much mystery around mentalism, magic, hypnosis, hypnotherapy, because there's mystery around all of these things, they somehow get interconnected for people and they feel ये सब एक ही है, जो वो एक नहीं है,
एक genre है,
एक बहुत अलग चीज है. In fact, when I say mentalism and when I say mentalist, I only do it for entertainment. Through my entertainment, if people are able to get some impact in their life, I'll be more than happy. But am I doing that for healing? No.
You're not doing it for healing.
No, I'm not. And I like to always make that clear, because mentalism is an entertainment. It's an art form. But just like many art forms heal, mentalism heals. But that's like any other art form healing.
Okay.
But when you exactly talk about healing, that is hypnotherapy. That's hypnosis. And that is where the major difference comes in. I will not say that I'm going to read your mind and solve your problems. No, I will always say that, okay, let's sit down and talk and understand the psyche behind what's happening, figure that thing out and solve it in the way it has to be solved. So they're two separate things. In fact, now I only continue as a mentalist, because there's so much that this field needs. It needs so much of my attention, my time, that I feel I need to dedicate my life to it for at least some more years to make people understand what it is about. In fact, I think people in our country are so much more aware about the art form now, that today if somebody comes and tells you, okay, I'm going to tell your date of birth, you're going to be like, oh, this is mentalism. I know this is an art form. Many people do it. You're not going to be like, oh my God, ये तो चमत्कारिक शक्ति है. Oh my God, this is some godly supernatural. I think for awareness, the country's now sort of gotten it. Mentalism is a very popular art form overseas. I'm glad it's coming to India. I'm glad people are becoming more aware about it and there's more knowledge around the entire field.
Are you, can you read minds?
I do not read minds.
No.
I only give an illusion of doing so.
But how do you get your answers right? I mean, the illusion is pretty good then.
That is true. It is very good. The thing is, you don't ask a magician कि आपने ये गाड़ी हवा में उड़ा के गायब कैसे कर दी. You don't ask that because you feel कुछ तो होगा. होगा. Correct. Similarly, when a mentalist reads your mind, it should always be like कुछ तो होगा. Because the mentalist is never going to reveal how we do it, because that's disrespect to the art form. That's not just disrespect to the art form, actually. That's pretty much killing the art form. The moment you know how it's done, the art form will die, because there's no mystery around it. There's no element of wonder around it. Magic survives and thrives over the emotion of wonder. And the moment that's taken away, the art form will die. And as a magician and a hardcore magician, from my childhood, all I know is how to do magic. I'm somebody who likes to keep the mystery as it is. Although I know demystifying it can actually give so many people so many answers. but I still feel it's not worth it because I'll be ruining the art form for all the magician existing in this world. Because the moment you get to know how I read one person's mind or how I have done one particular act, you don't just know how I have done it. You also know how magicians all over.
Is this gift an art or something you learned? I was reading up about you. You dropped out of school at class 2. And that's amazing, that amazing for your parents also to believe in you because you were a kid at that time to do this. So how did you learn this craft? How did you know you have special powers? You call them special powers or you call them, I mean, there has to be something that God given that you've taken further.
I don't call them special powers.
What do you call it?
I call it an art form.
How did you get into this art form? Did you know?
I was very young and I saw a magician perform on television when I was 6. And I was flabbergasted. I was like, ye kaise ho raha hai? How did this happen? How did it disappear something and it turned out into it came out of an apple? Ye to mumkin hi nahi hai. And I was, you know how kids get excited towards magic. I was extremely excited towards how did the magician do that? And I was excited to a level where I just didn't want to see more of magic, but I also wanted to perform magic. I wanted to be the magician. And I wanted to give that element of
then
surprise.
What did you do?
And I walked up to my father. I told him very clearly कि पापा मुझे जादू करना है. He's like, जा जाके पढ़ाई कर. That was his true reaction. And so अभी बच्चे जिद्दी होते हैं, मैं भी जिद्दी बच्ची. And I walked up to him after a few days. I'm like, पापा जादू करना है. जा जाके पढ़ाई कर. He's also my father, no? I walked up to him again after a few days. पापा जादू करना है. Basically, I kept walking up to him till he did not take what I'm saying seriously. Because I knew that it's not that my parents are visionaries. They never took me or my brother lightly. Okay, they never were like, we were made to sit in family discussions. We were asked for our opinions even when we were 5 and 6 years old. We were made to feel very important. To an extent that my brother was sometimes, यार मजाक में भी कुछ नहीं बोलना, ये तो seriously ले लेंगे. Because they would take us so seriously. We were meant to feel very important even as kids. And I knew that my father not agreeing to this is only because I'm doing too many things already. Like I was swimming from the age of 5. I was at states. I was going for competitions at the age of 6 and 7. I was into computers. They were just launched in India and I was all over it. I was getting good grades in school. So my father knew I'm doing already too much.
And you were how old at that time? 7,
I was
8?
7.
So the father took a 7-year-old seriously enough to make a career decision?
6. For magic, it was 6 years old.
Wow.
In fact, when he agreed, okay, if you now seriously want to do this and you're not just saying this for the sake of it, then here's a deal. And he actually told me this, which is something that is stored in both me and my brother, our heads very strongly since childhood. He told me कि अगर जादू करना है तो कोई स्कूल या बर्थडे पार्टी पे नहीं, you will have to do a big stage show. Are you okay with that? I was like, okay. So he always believed that if you want to do something, do it in the best possible way. Don't waste your potential. ऐसे ही करने की खातिर क्यों कर रहे हो? अगर मेरी बेटी कुछ कर रही है, अगर सुहानी कुछ कर रही है, तो बेस्ट होना ही चाहिए. नहीं तो सुहानी उसे क्यों कर रही है? अगर गीत, who's my brother, अगर गीत कुछ कर रहा है, so my brother was into sports and he played nationals and he's like, अगर तू कुछ कर रहा है तो बेस्ट कर, वरना टाइम वेस्ट मत कर. So he always gave that thought to us. He always told us that we have to put in our best. We need to respect our own efforts. Okay, we need to respect our own desires and thoughts. Feel nice. But then we tried to figure out. Honestly, it took 7-8 months to just figure out how to learn. And the story is very interesting because we did not find a magician to teach me. There was no book, no course, no magician. What we really found was a group of people who would assist magicians in their shows. So there used to be a magician. And उसके आसपास आप देखते हो ना कि किसी को तो काटा जाता है जो वापस जिंदा होके आते हैं, किसी को गायब करा जाता है जो ऑडियंस में से निकलते हैं, कोई बंदा है जो लाइट चालू कर रहा है, कोई कर्टन्स पुल इन कर रहा है. सर्कस देखा अगर आपने तो उसमें बहुत सारा टीम लगता है. I got a family who would assist magicians in their shows.
So they knew how it was
They
done.
knew everything. Like the man of the family was the lead technician of light and music. The lady was the lead assistant. The sisters were the side assistants. The cousins were the setup guys. So they knew everything. They didn't have anything. So we had to invest. My parents took the decision of investing into making everything, trusting these people, convincing them to teach me magic. It took 2.5 months.
Wow.
Because
That's
how would
pretty
I learn?
fast.
3-hour show? No. Oh, I thought it was slow.
No.
No, kids learn faster. And they were experienced. They were experts. So, like a person would sit every day for 4 hours and say dialogues for me to remember it. So, वापस बोल फिर वो बोल क्योंकि मुझे लिखना नहीं है पढ़ना नहीं आता है तो they have to say मैं cassette records करके सुनती थी how to walk and what setup we are going to do, what kind of acts we are going to perform, because even father, no, we can't perform what everybody else is performing. Make it new. So we create new acts, do different things. So it took 2.5 months. In total, from the time they got convinced till the time I performed my first stage show, it took around 10 to 11 months.
Wow.
And it was in October 1997. I performed my first stage show.
At age?
7.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an awesome story. And in fact, we're going to take a short break and I'm going to ask Suhani, request in fact, if she can, maybe do a little performance for us. We have people in the audience also who would like to see some of what she does. But after a short break, so don't go away. Stay with us. Hello and welcome back to We Women Want. Like I told you, today we're having a very special show with Suhani Shah. She is a mentalist and also globally the most watched, subscribed mentalist, and that too an Indian woman. So I keep repeating this because it's a real matter of pride to all of us, Suhani. But you told us how you do what you do. But can you just now show us, an example of what you do so my audience can understand what you do better? We have an audience who's come here just to see you, and I don't know if you have any questions that you would like to ask her, or if you would guess something about them. Can we do that?
I can try.
You can. She's not a mind reader, but she's going to try. So we need volunteers.
I mean, I am a mind reader, but then, yeah, it's different than what people term it as, right?
Okay.
And, actually, mind reader is not even like a profession. Mind reading is a part of mentalism. So mentalism as an art form has many other things. People think it was mind reading karte ho aur kya karte ho. There are a lot of other effects, which is like influencing the choices of people, predictions, getting into the past. There are many, many more things that happen. And mind reading is one part of what mentalism as an art form has. So, yeah.
So, our sare politicians will take her and make you vote for Rahul Gandhi.
I think they're very good influencers themselves.
Yes. That is true. In fact, when you said jo naam mumkin ko na ho again,
mumkin kar de.
I thought that's
politicians.
Somebody has borrowed your lines. But any volunteers first, because as Suhani says, she wants to do it with consent, otherwise she will not do it. So any volunteers from the audience who would like to? Avnish is here, and how do we do this? Would you like to guess something that he is thinking in his mind? I can...
Who I really want to date, like a superstar or a film.
First of all, you really want to date this person.
Okay.
And I don't need to be a mentalist to know that, I think everybody around feels that it is very... Bas isko date karwa do, yaar. That is your vibe right now, Bhavnish.
Yeah.
Someone who's in the public life, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he very clearly, when you has the person in the mind, think about the person in your mind.
Okay.
You know what? I think you had that person in your mind first and then you had the question.
Yeah.
Correct? So I think I got the person only even before you would have asked any question around this person.
Okay.
Oh.
You already guessed, don't tell me.
Now I really want to know.
No. But didn't my made sense?
Little bit, yeah.
Yeah. But now she's committed now, yeah. You can't do much.
Maybe you can help in that also, Shani.
No. I think they look real. I think Ranveer and Alia look very good together.
Ah, it is Alia. Is it?
Yeah.
That's Alia Bhari is thinking of.
How did you get that?
I think Bhavnish had it very clear on his mind. Please, Alia se date karwa do.
Oh, that is really super.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. But you know what? A lot of people were thinking of a lot of things then. And I was like, okay, let me focus on Bhavnish then.
So you had all these thoughts that were coming your way and...
You know, the fun bit in mentalism nowadays that is happening with me, because I put up a lot of videos online showcasing the art, performing mentalism with as many people as I can. Honestly, मैं बहुत लोगों के साथ perform करती हूँ, from people who are in public life to people who are just doing their things just in general. And I do a lot more mentalism, and I perform videos with them. I perform for them and put up videos so that it reaches more and more people and they understand the art form. But because of that, क्या होने लग गया है, बहुत सारे comments आते हैं, ये तो fake है, scripted है. Of course, my community knows I'm doing it for 25 years, but the new people who watch it, and it's so unbelievable. ये possible ही नहीं है. And when all your logic goes for a toss, you claim that it is scripted.
Yeah.
So nowadays, what has happened with me is, more than actually putting my brains to what act to perform, it goes into how to prove this is not scripted. Like, there's so much around, like, no, I don't want to do it with you because they might think I've set up things with you. I don't want to do it with the producer. Okay, let's do it with them. Okay, make sure I don't know anything. You know, things like that is so important for me. And I really want to tell people that I'm extremely honest about my art form. I'm not lying one bit. I could say that, oh, I have some supernatural powers and I can read your minds, but that's not true. It is an art form. It is done by many people. It has a mystery around it. And none of the videos, absolutely none of the videos of mine are scripted. You can tell me, I can perform them anytime. I mean, they are legit. If it is scripted, if a brand also comes to me and tells me, can you just script this part because we want the person to say this, I'll be like, I'll not perform. Because it's a credibility of 25 years. I'll do one your video for whatever reason. अगर एक ये वीडियो स्क्रिप्टेड है तो सुहानी का हर वीडियो स्क्रिप्टेड हो सकता है, and that's something I will never take.
Never lose.
So that's something I really want to tell people, that it is an art form. I know it is so unbelievable, but it exists.
Yeah, what on his face told you Alia? I mean, I thought Priyanka Chopra.
Actually, I really want to.
No,
like,
he
I'm
never had.
shivering
He had no Priyanka Chopra in his mind.
Yeah. No. He's
He
saying
had
no.
no other girl in his mind.
Are you in a relationship? Otherwise, you're in trouble, Bhavi.
Yes, I am.
You are.
And she looks a bit like Alia. She has a vibe like Alia.
Really? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, so that saved him. But does anybody have any questions to Suhani about her craft or anything that I have not covered that you want to ask her from the... So we have with us Nikhat Bhatti. She's a filmmaker herself, and she's also a healer. She does...
Oh, beautiful. What kind of a healer are you?
I do karmic healing, which includes hypnotherapy, which you mentioned.
It does.
So actually, I'm of course utterly fascinated by what you do and whatever you've been explaining to us. My question is, how much, I mean, you talk about it being a craft and an art form, which I'm hearing for the first time, and I think it's wonderful to know that, because one doesn't think of it as an art form. But my question is, how much of this is intuitive? How much of the work you do is not something that you have learned externally, but probably were born with?
You make me wonder.
Wow.
I would have wanted to say that, no, it's all a skill, hard work, practice. But there has to be a sort of intuition for sure to it. There are two things that I'll tell you about it. One is, when I went to go and convince my parents at the age of 6, I actually performed a magic trick for them. I did not know magic. I had no connection with magic before that. But I wanted my parents to take me seriously. So, my mom, रोटियां जो बनाते हैं, तो जो आटा होता है, the dough, I took that a little bit. I made like a band out of it. To stick it around my eyes, I took my dad's handkerchief, made a band out of it, and asked him to tie. So there was like a roti ka pura aata chipka hua yahan par, and there was a handkerchief tied around my eyes like a band. We were kids, we had slates in the house. And I told him, you write anything you want. Again, I'm repeating, I'm 6. I don't know how to read and write well. Maths to kuch nahi aata, abhi to hum seekh rahe hain. I told him to write anything, and I wrote exactly the same thing, blindfolded. And I told him to write numbers, and I wrote that. I told him to write in a different language. He wrote in Gujarati, which was no way I could know, and I wrote that. I know how that's done, but that nobody would taught me that then. And that's a favorite trick of mine. Like, I do it till today, but in a different way now. But that's one of my favorite acts. From blindfold driving to writing to many things blindfolded has happened in terms of magic. Now, I don't know how did I get, like somebody asked me, वो कैसे तुझे आया कि तुझे वो करना है? अब my answer to them is, अबे घर पे जो सामान पड़ा था उसी से आप जादू करोगे ना, तो रोटी, रुमाल, स्लेट, चौक पड़ी थी, आपने कर दिया. That's the only answer I get. But then how did that come to my mind? I have no idea. And second bit, when I say why intuitive is, I think intuitive ho jata hai. This is because of experience. When you're doing something over the years for more than 2 decades, I've been doing magic for 25 years. Now, if I look at people, there are many ways to retrieve the information in a way that nobody would know. That's how mentalism is. But sometimes I don't even need that. Like with even right now with Bhavnish, it was out there. I told you also I might take some time to do it, but it didn't take that much time because I just knew it. So sometimes I think, but that's more of, you know your skill really well. You're doing it over the years and you're very confident with it. And I think that is a combination of intuition sometimes. So yeah.
But have you ever felt tempted to use this for like cracking mysteries and finding murderers?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like the Mentalist
yeah,
serial.
like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
actual mentalist.
100%. I have felt it like that a lot. And at the end, I'm the simple girl in my house, a little sister, a little daughter. So the first thing that comes to my mind, as silly as this sounds, but true, when my mom and my brother are arguing, I love to sit there.
You know who's going to win.
Because I know who's lying. And my brother would look at me and like, "Tu ja yahan se. Tu yahan se pehle nikal." So that's the kind of mystery I like to solve in my house. But other than that, a lot of people come and tell me, why don't you solve criminal mysteries and help the departments with it? And I think people need to know that they are already skilled with these things. It's not something that I need to go and help them. I have not met them, but I completely believe that they already know these influencing skills. They know these entire tactic around how we work around it, which they use it for investigation. Different people use same things for different purposes. And I assume it's that. If it's not, if they ever ask me, I'm always there to help.
Yeah, I want to ask you, who killed Arushi? That Arushi Evraj mystery. I think you know the answer.
On that note, guys.
On that note, so we're going to hope that to get her back again and answer some of our other questions. But thank you, Suhani. Time has just flown by. It's been wonderful really to have you on this show. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for, clarifying. Like, your questions were more for so much of clarity around the art form. And I'm glad we gave this perspective. And I hope that people understand magic, mentalism, art form, hypnosis much better in their life you're on. Read more about it. And if tomorrow somebody comes and tells you all of these things that I know who you're thinking about, you know that this is an art form and not somebody like supernatural power.
Well, I think a big hand of applause for Suhani Shah. And she's going places. Remember, you met her here first. And I know you've been in a lot of places, but we are so glad to host you here and hope to have you back soon.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.